everyone. I'm Bethany with Texas Women's University Fitness and Recreation, and this is Virtual Mat Pilates. Today, we won't need any equipment unless you know that your body finds equipment useful during certain moves. And as always, I invite you to listen to your bodies, hydrate appropriately, and take breaks as you see fit. Let's come to an upright position with the feet an appropriate distance for you to be able to sit up nice and tall and comfortable with the least amount of tension in the hips here. The hands can be resting lightly on the shins, and we'll begin by taking a deep breath in and up. And then on the exhale, we'll nod the head and pretend like we're blowing out candles on a birthday cake. Curling forward, and then we'll take an inhale here, holding the flexion, feeling the ribcage expand, and then we'll exhale like we're blowing out those candles. And then we'll take 2 more breaths here, breathing in, feeling that ribcage expand, and then exhaling, feeling everything contract. 1 more, breathing in, and exhaling, and then we'll inhale as we stack that spine up nice and tall. Excellent. Let's come to our backs. Knees bent toward the ceiling, heels in line with the sits bones or the back of your hip that you sit on. Palms down on either side of the hips, and we'll begin with the spine neutral. So we have the sensation of our lumbar curve, even if the design of our body has it so that we are flush with the mat. We're not tilted with the pelvis just yet, flush with the mat. So let's take a full breath in and out, blowing out those imaginary candles, feeling the core lightly draw in. And then this time on the inhale, let's tilt that pelvis toward us, slightly flattening the lower back. And then on the exhale, let's return to neutral. And again, inhaling into our imprint position, that small tuck, and then exhaling, returning to neutral. 1 more here, inhaling to imprint, and then exhaling, returning to neutral. Let's keep going into our hip rolls. We'll inhale through that imprint position, tucking the pelvis, and then we'll exhale. Keep rolling that spine up and off the mat to this nice diagonal shape, thinking about squeezing through the glutes and the hamstrings. We'll inhale to hold in this top position, and then we'll exhale. Starting at the sternum, let's start to roll that spine back down toward the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time, releasing the hips last into our neutral position. Careful of the tracking of our knees. I can feel mine wobbling. We want to keep those guys parallel instead of splaying open or falling inward. Let's keep going, inhaling through our imprint, and then exhaling, curling everything up to that nice diagonal shape, keeping the backs of the shoulder blades on the mat. Let's inhale at the top, and then exhale. Start to roll everything down, 1 vertebrae at a time, releasing those hips last. And last one, let's inhale, passing through our imprint, and then exhale, curl it up 1 vertebrae at a time, inhaling at the top, and then exhaling, rolling it down 1 vertebrae at a time, and releasing those hips last. Let's inhale and float those legs to a tabletop position, knees over the hips, but not farther past. Let's exhale as we let the knees fall to the diagonal at one side. We'll inhale to hold, and then we'll exhale, draw those knees back, into center. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale. Let those knees fall to the other side at the diagonal. Inhale to hold this position, using the obliques to stabilize, and then exhale. Also use the obliques to drive you back to that start position. And again, inhaling to prepare, exhaling, taking it over to the diagonal, inhaling to hold, and then exhaling, drawing it back in, inhaling in the center, exhaling, rotating through the obliques on that diagonal, inhaling to hold, and then exhaling, drawing it back. Let's take one more round to each side, inhaling to prepare, exhaling, using the obliques to rotate, inhaling to hold, and then exhaling, using the obliques to drive you back to the center. Last time, we'll inhale here, exhale, rotate, inhale, hold, and then exhale, draw it back to the center. Float those legs back down to the mat, knees still bent. Let's take those hands and hover them off the mat or the floor just a couple of inches. So not so much here or lower. We want the wrists in line with the shoulders. Let's inhale to elevate the shoulders, shrugging them up toward the ears. And then exhale, press those fingertips toward the heels. And again, inhaling to elevate, shrugging the shoulders to the ears. And then exhale, fingertips to heels. One more time each way, inhaling, elevate, shrugging to ears. And then exhale, to press, fingertips to heels. And then inhale, back to neutral. Let's hold for an exhale. Inhale, float those hands toward the ceiling, palms facing in and hovering above the shoulders. So we want to maintain this parallel shape, not open out and not fall in, no matter which direction we're going with our shoulder blades. Let's inhale to reach fingertips toward the ceiling, protraction, and then exhale, retract the shoulders, squeezing them lightly together and down into the mat or the floor. Inhale, protract, reaching, and then exhale, retract the shoulders, squeezing lightly together and down. One more, inhaling to protract, and then exhaling to retract. Let's float those hands palm down on either side of the hips for just a moment, going into our head nods. Remember, we're looking for the back of the head to remain on the mat or the floor. So, beginning here, we'll take a full breath cycle in and out, feeling everything funnel down in the center of your body. Let's inhale and nod the head, tucking the chin just slightly. And then exhale, back to neutral. Thinking about lengthening the back of the neck here. Inhale, nod the head. And then exhale, return to neutral. One more like this. We'll inhale, nod. And then we'll exhale, return to neutral. Let's add on here. So we'll float those fingertips to a tiny hover. We'll inhale to nod the head. And then we'll exhale. Keep curling that spine up as much as you can control, maintaining your same hip position here. We'll inhale at the top of the move, and then we'll exhale. Slow and controlled, curl it back down one vertebrae at a time. Let's take a few more. Inhaling to nod, exhaling, curling it up, inhaling here, and then exhale, curl it back down. Let's take a last one like this. Inhale to nod. Exhale. Curl it up. Inhale to hold. And then exhale. Curl it back down. All right, adding on. Let's inhale to nod the head. Exhale. Flex it up. Let the palms face one another on either side of the hips. Let's inhale. Float the arms, biceps toward the ears. And then exhale. Snow angel, fan the arms around back to the hips. Again, inhaling, biceps to ears. Exhaling, fan the arms around. Last one like this, inhaling, biceps to ears. Exhaling, fan the arms. Reversing that direction. Inhaling, sweeping the arms in a fan up to biceps to ears. And then exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, fan, arms up. Exhale, hands to hips. Last one, inhale, fan the arms, and then exhale, take the hands down, inhale here, and then exhale, roll it back down to the mat. All right, let's flip it on over so that we are on our stomachs here. And we'll take the hands just under the tops of the shoulders. So not at the shoulder, but here just in front of, so that the forearm can remain fully on the mat. Then we're going to take those legs and take them toward the corner edges of the mat and then rotate them out at the hip joints. We're going to think about squeezing the glutes lightly together and up, also the inner thighs as well. And we'll take the spine into a neutral position. So we'll be here, just barely hovering off the mat, but I'll be slightly turned so that I can see and talk to all of us. So we'll put a little bit of energy into the mat or the floor, but not a whole lot. We're really looking for the contraction of the upper back along down the spine to be what lifts us up, keeping the collarbones or the front of the body wide and open. So let's take a full breath in and out to prepare. Breathing in and out. On the inhale, think of lengthening through the crown of the head, lightly pressing into the mat, keeping the legs on the floor. And then we'll exhale, curl it right back down to that start position. Again, inhaling to lengthen forward and up, keeping the collarbones wide, and then exhale, curling it back down. Let's take a last one like this, inhaling forward and up, and then exhaling, taking it down. Excellent. Let's take those hands, stack them on top of one another, and stack the forehead on top here. Again, I'll be slightly turned. We're going to keep the hands and forehead glued together the entire time. We're going to keep the feet glued to the mat, and we're going to keep thinking about squeezing the glutes and inner thighs, even though they're not currently actually touching, and thinking about pulling that belly button away from the t-shirt or the floor. So, again, taking a full breath cycle in and out to prepare. Breathing in and out. Again, on the inhale, thinking of lengthening forward and up and lifting, and then exhaling, curling down with control. Again, inhaling, forward and up to lift, and then exhaling with control, lowering down. Last one, breathing in and up, and then exhaling to lower down. Let's take a shell stretch, framing the chest with the hands, pressing up and back, and drawing the knees under the body so that we can round that back, taking full deep breaths here, breathing in and out, and in and out, one more, breathing in and out. Let's inhale, 2, stack us back up, and we'll swivel the hips to come once again to that seated position that is comfortable for us. So we're entering into our half roll back and our half roll up. Here, with the feet, you may find that pointed or flexed gives you the lesser amount of hip tension, and that is what we are looking for in this move today. So the hands will come to a zombie arm position here, palms facing down in line with the shoulders here. And we're going to strive to keep this parallel with the floor shape. So the shoulders are going to be moving about a little bit. Let's begin by taking a breath in and up, nice and tall. And then on the exhale, start to curl through that lower belly, rounding the spine as you rock back. We're going to inhale as we scoop through this lower belly and dive forward. And then we're going to exhale and curl it all back. Again, inhaling, scooping over an imaginary beach ball. And then exhaling, allowing those shoulders to glide with you as you curl back. And then inhaling, scooping over. And then exhaling, taking it back. Let's take one more, inhaling up and over. And then exhaling, nice and up tall. From here, we're going to take it the whole way down. So let's inhale up, nice and tall. And then we'll exhale. Start to curl it down, one vertebrae at a time, until we are touching the floor with our shoulder blades. And then we can lengthen it all the way out. Let's take those arms, and we're going to allow the biceps to float toward the ears, and the palms will turn to face in toward one another, as though we were holding an imaginary small ball in between our hands. Those legs are going to flex through the feet and the ankles, so the toes are pointing to the ceiling, and we've got a right angle between the foot and the shin. And we'll take them about sits bones distance apart, or maybe a little wider, maybe shoulder distance, depending upon what feels comfortable to you today. All right, with the biceps in toward the ears, we're going to inhale as we reach back and up, nodding the head and curling, and then exhale. Continue to flex up, only as much as you can control. Inhale to hold. And then exhale, curl it back down, one vertebrae at a time, taking the arms back to their start position. Again, inhaling, nodding the head, starting to curl, and then exhale, continuing to curl, inhaling to hold here, and then exhaling, rolling it right back down, releasing the arms back toward the ears. Last, again, inhale, nod the head, exhale, flex it up, inhaling to hold, and then exhaling, curling it right back down to that start position. Let's take two more. Inhaling to nod, exhaling to curl it up, inhaling to hold, and then exhale, roll it right back down, one vertebrae at a time, and then inhaling to nod, exhaling, curling it up. This is where it's going to get interesting. We're going to hold here, bend those knees in, take those hands, palms on either side of the hips. Inhale, float the leg to tabletop. Exhale, float the other leg to tabletop. And we're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, extend 2, 3, 4, 5, bend in 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale to hold and bend those knees. Exhale, float the legs down to the floor. Inhale, hands come behind the head to support. Exhale, lift and rotate opposite armpit to opposite knee. And then inhale, curl deeper in the center. Exhale, switch, armpit to knee. Inhale, curl deeper center in our obliques. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. 2 more sets. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. Last set each side. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And then exhale. Curl it down. Excellent. Let's flip it over to lying face down on the mat. The legs will be long and again turned out, toes pointed toward the corner edges, rotated out at the hips, and then arms will be long here, or if you'd rather stack the arms or the hands underneath the forehead for a moment, we're going to do single leg extension and then arms. So pick what's comfortable for you. We'll begin lengthening individual limbs on an inhale and then exhaling to release back down. We'll start with the right leg for everybody. Let's inhale to lengthen and lift through that glute hamstring connection, and then exhale, lower it down. It's like someone's pulling on your toe so far out that you have no other choice. As you inhale, it lengthens out and lifts up, and then exhale, down for 2 on that same side. Last one, inhaling to lengthen and lift, and then exhaling, taking it down. Switching to the left leg, inhaling to lengthen and lift, and then exhaling to lower down. And again, inhaling, lengthening and lifting through that glute hamstring connection. Exhaling, drawing down, still trying to pull that belly button away from the mat or the floor. Last one, inhaling to lengthen and lift, and then exhaling to lower it down. With the arms, it'll be the same business here. You guys will be here. I'll be slightly lifted so that I can see and talk to you. Beginning with the right arm, let's inhale to lengthen forward and lift through those fingertips. And exhale, lowering down, thinking of the back of the shoulder and upper back, doing the lifting, not the here upper back, but more the here upper back. So again, inhaling, lengthening and lifting through those fingertips, feeling that shoulder glide, and then exhaling to lower down. Last one on this side, inhaling to lengthen and lift, and then exhaling, lowering down. Switching to the left, inhaling to lengthen and lift, exhaling to lower down. Again, inhaling to lengthen forward and lift, exhaling to lower down. And last one, inhaling, still feeling that belly pull away from the mat, and then exhaling to lower down. Next, take the hands into the chest so that we can press up to a tabletop, and we'll tuck those toes under here. We'll come to a stance with the joints stacked, so wrists under the shoulders, elbow creases facing in toward one another, knees under hips. We'll take a breath to prepare in, and then on the exhale, we'll lift those knees to just an inch hover above the floor. We'll inhale to hold, and then we'll exhale, lower those knees back down. Let's take a few more. Inhaling to prep, exhaling, scooping through that belly to lift. Inhale here, and then exhale, lower back down. Last one, inhaling to prepare, exhale, lift to that hover, inhale to hold, and then exhale, lower it back down. Now we can untuck the toes, sit the hips back and around that spine into a shell stretch, breathing in nice and deep, and exhaling out. And then we'll inhale up nice and tall. Let's come to a side lying position here for our side kicks, and we'll take the legs in a slight check mark shape. So we have everything in line here. I'm actually going to take it about a foot's length forward, and then we'll take our body and we can come either totally long, we can come to a beach lying position, or we can come into elbow directly under the shoulder, as long as here you can see I'm kind of sunk in with my rib cage. I actually want to be lifted here. Today, I think I'm going to come to a beach lying position for myself. And then we'll take that top leg and point it to about in line with the hip parallel. The front hand can come out to help stabilize just slightly, but we're not leaning into it. Check in with your hips and make sure that they are stacked. So I'm actually tilted back. I'm going to tilt to where my hips are in line this way, and they're also in line this way. So now that we're all set up, think of drawing this bottom oblique away from the mat or the floor, and we'll inhale forward for 1, 2, and then we'll flex that heel all the way back, just slightly past the hips. Then we'll repeat this. Inhaling for 1, 2, and then exhale. Press it back through that heel. Again, inhaling forward for 1, 2, and then exhale. Taking it back, 2 more. Inhaling for 1, 2, exhale. Take it back, last one. Inhaling for 1, 2, and then exhale. Take it back. Float it back to the start position in that slight check mark shape. And we'll inhale to point to lift only as much as we can without compromising the rest of the body. And then we'll flex and lower back to that start position. Inhale, point to lift. Exhale, flex through that foot and squeeze it back down. 3 more here. Inhaling to point and lift. Exhale, flex and lower. Inhale, point to lift. Exhale, flex and lower. Last one, inhaling and exhale. Take it down. Let's point through those toes and let's get some circles in. We're going to circle forward, up, and back for 1, working with a breath pattern that works for you. I like to inhale and then exhale, down and around. Let's take a last one. Inhale and then exhale, down and around. Let's switch directions now for 3. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale. And then we can release. Let's carefully swivel that body so that we can change sides and resume that same check mark shape where we have about a foot's length forward with the feet in comparison to the hips. Then we can be in either the lifted shape here, the beach shape here, or the long shape here with the front hand in front on the floor for a little bit of stability support. I think for myself on this side, I will again choose that beach line position, and no matter which of the positions you were in, you're thinking of that bottom oblique is still lifting away from the mat the whole time, so we're not smooshed. We still have a little bit of lift here. All right, with the legs, let's take that top leg, lift it with a point, and we'll begin in our side kicks. It'll be inhaling for 2 forward and then exhaling back. Here we go. Let's inhale forward, and then exhale, take it back. Inhale forward for 2, exhale, take it back. Again, inhale, exhale, back for 3, inhale, exhale, back for 4, inhale, exhale, back for 5. Pointing through that toe, we'll inhale, point to lift, exhale, flex through that foot and lower. Again, inhale, point to lift, exhale, flex and lower. Inhale, point to lift 3, exhale, flex and lower. Point and lift on an inhale, exhale for 4. Last one, point to lift, and then exhale for 5. Going into circles, pointing through that toe, working with my breath or the breath pattern that works for you. We'll inhale forward, exhale, up and around and back to that start position for 1. Inhale forward, exhale, up and around and back for 2. Inhale forward, exhale, up and around for 3. Reversing, inhaling back, exhaling, up and over for 1. Inhaling back, exhaling, up and around for 2. Last one, inhaling back, then exhaling, up and around for 3, and then we can release it back to the mat. We will press up and come to a wide stance here. Not necessarily our most full straddle. From the front perspective, instead of being sits bones or shoulder distance, probably about here, but that makes me appear very small on camera. So I will rotate myself so that we can see the up nice and tall posture that we're all striving for. If you find that you have a lot of hip tension here with the legs extended, you can soften the knees or sit on top of a stack of books or a yoga block. So once we're here, we'll begin up nice and tall, and we'll take the arms out to a T. So the arms are lengthened out on either side of you, and we'll inhale up nice and tall. And then on the exhale, we'll rotate through those obliques, and then we'll inhale back to center. Switching sides, exhaling to rotate, inhaling to center. Again, exhaling to rotate. Inhaling, drawing taller in the center. Exhale to rotate. Inhale to center. One more round each side. Exhale. And then inhale, center. And then exhale. And then inhale, center. And then exhale, float those hands down. Let's go into our spine stretch forward for our last move today. Inhaling nice and tall. And then exhaling, nodding the head, curling and flexing down and forward. We can walk those fingertips along the floor. We'll inhale to hold here at the bottom. And then we'll exhale, curl us up nice and tall. Inhaling to prepare. Exhaling, flexing it down. Curling forward, inhaling to hold, and then exhaling to engage through that core and draw you back up to nice and tall. One last one. Let's inhale nice and tall, and then exhale, nod that head and curl it forward. Inhaling to hold, and then exhaling to engage that core and stack you up one vertebrae at a time, up nice and tall. Then we can come to a comfortable for us seated position, which for me is cross-legged today. And we'll take our last breath together. Palms out to the side. Let's inhale up. Nice and tall, sweeping the arms to the ceiling, and then we'll exhale. Just draw them down through the center of the body. Thank you guys so much for sharing your Pilates mat practice today with me virtually. I look forward to continuing to grow through our virtual sessions each week. Take good care, you guys.